New from Vinegar Syndrome is The Boogeyman on 4K UHD, a film that doesn't really need 4K UHD. In fact, it's almost a little bit of a detraction to the film because you get to see a lot of the seams of how the effects are done. But let's talk about this film. I had forgotten, it'd been a number of years since I'd seen The Boogeyman, but I'd forgotten how uncomfortably and sleazy the start of this film is. There's just something deeply unsettling about the opening scenes, and that terror and feeling just continues through the film. As we open this film, we see two characters at the start, a woman and a man, and she's taking off a stocking. She puts it over his head, which is a kind of disturbing image in itself. Two kids are watching them make out through the window. Her two kids, Lacey and Willie. Willie, the boy, the man goes out and kind of goes after him, and you have a sense of dread on this one. In the next sequence, you see him being tied to the bed, and there is something just nerve-inducing about this sequence. It's just so unsettling until Lacey cuts her brother free, and this young child gets a knife and goes and kills the man that tied him up. Then we jump to later in the future. These two kids have grown up. They're working on a farm. Lacey is married. She has a kid of her own. Willie is... there's something that's not right there. The effects of his childhood have scarred him. He won't talk. He's very standoffish and doesn't really communicate with anyone. When their mother sends a letter saying that she's dying and wants to see them one last time, it brings them back to this childhood trauma, and they're having to deal with it.
You're always talking about that night. You want to tell me more about it, Lacey?
Now, it's an interesting prospect, that alone, but they throw something deep-seated in the horror genre into this one. The idea that mirrors capture all the horrors that happen in a household and retain those feelings. So there's this mirror that captured the man with the stocking who was killing people, and when they visit the house and break the mirror and bring shards of it back to their farm, the horrors that were captured break out and come to torment these people yet again.
Boogeyman!
It's really creepy in a lot of the way it does its story, because not just in the horror that we have within the film, but the horror of the trauma that are carried by these kids. Lacey's constantly breaking down, having flashbacks to this terror. Willie is starting to go in a different route. He starts to blacken out all the mirrors in the household. He's trying to be almost proactive, but the inability to articulate why he's doing it just infuriates the other characters. There's moments of gore and blood which are really well done, but for me, the exceptional thing about The Boogeyman is the atmosphere that the film has. From the opening sequence right through to the end, there is a sleazy tension all the way through this.
What's the matter, Willie? Something bothering you?
Something horrible, something deep-seated in the fear cortex is just... It makes me uncomfortable to sit and watch this one. The film is terrific though, and it's really quick at 82 minutes, and you get Susanna Love as Lacey, who I think is excellent, and Ulli Lommel, who in the 80s for me just delivered some great stuff. Of course, I've not seen his later stuff and I've no interest in seeing that, but his 80s stuff was terrific. And this is one of those movies that is often forgotten. Was a video nasty in the UK, and is one that's well worth checking out. I love the way the family builds up his issues while trying to comfort and help people get through their situations, right up until the finale where we have the priest involved to try and help things as well. There's also an aspect of a psychologist coming in to help Lacey through her problems, which is a really nice aspect to the film. And it feels like a properly thought out film in the fact that it has all these nice avenues and nice conversations and nice characters to reflect on things that have happened and how it affects them in their current life, which I really appreciate when they feel as though they're rooted in some kind of people I can see myself in or feel empathy towards. This is a great release. Pick up The Boogeyman. It's a really fun film if you haven't seen it. I think it's pretty terrific. Like I said, the atmosphere is great. It's icky in all the right ways. It's that low budget, unnerving quality as well to the filmmaking, which I really appreciate. I would love to know your thoughts on The Boogeyman, whether you love it, hate it, find it average. Let me know in the comment box below. We can have a discussion about that. There's more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to the Patreon membership program and manvfilm.com. Always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.